Hello, welcome back for Unit 4 of our Contemporary World course here in Waldorf Online. And as we get into Unit 4 and we're starting to approach the halfway point, I think we're doing a pretty good job. We're off to a good start. This is where a lot of times we'll see the discussion board start to lag off, and you see that as I'm kind of going in there, I'm telling you continually week to week to continue expanding out your post. Some good ways to do that are to think about the skills, and we're going to talk about our next skill, which is continuity and change here momentarily. Another way to do it is to start employing more evidence. A lot of you make really good points, or you have things that you want to assert, but you don't really support them with any kind of meaningful factual evidence that gives you credibility. That could be a way to expand out those posts as well. One of the other things to remember with the discussion board is 50% of it's for the first post, 50% for the second post, and they can't be late. So those are all just things I want to have us keep in mind as we move into Unit 4 here. As we take a look at this, in this video, we're going to talk about our skill this week, which is continuity and change, the objective things that are different or stay the same over the course of a historical situation. We're going to talk about legacies of the U.S. and the USSR in Southeast Asia over on the discussion board, and then we're going to talk briefly about your Unit 4 essay. Okay, so our skill is continuity and change this week, and continuity and change, as I noted, is the objective things that are different or stay the same over the course of a historical situation. These are the facts as they are. They're things that anyone would have to agree to, and maybe we can see this a little bit more clearly with the content. You're going to be asked over on the discussion board to look at the legacies of the United States and the USSR in East Asia, and particularly looking at Japan and China in the post-war era. And so as we do this, we can see all sorts of different continuities and changes that are happening here. One of the things that we have to contend with, both in your essay and on the discussion board, is the drive for localized independence and rule within Southeast Asia. For a very long time, what we call a historical continuity, outside powers had been ruling countries like Vietnam or even Korea and parts of China as we come out of World War II, where the Japanese have taken Manchuria and some other parts of the Chinese mainland. As these things kind of happen, whether you're a staunch Vietnamese nationalist or you're somebody that takes a look at Vietnam from a different perspective, we'd all agree that Vietnam had been ruled from the outside for hundreds of years. Change is going to be the rise of Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam, and that there's going to be a strong enough nationalist movement to start moving towards self-rule, and that's a significant change. Another change would be the introduction of communism into the region as the Cold War expands and USSR starts supporting different people in the area. So when you look at this, one of the things we want to do is sift out who feels what way about these continuities or changes. We just want to establish the facts they are, and that's a good way to think about continuities and changes. As we get into the discussion board, and we're looking at these legacies of the Cold War in East Asia, particularly in China and Japan. One of the things to think about, Japan in the post-war world is going to become the seat of American power in the region militarily, and the United States is going to have a very strong presence in Japan and develop a very strong commercial relationship. On the other side, we're going to see China obviously continuing to devolve further into civil war in the post-World War II era, eventually going through Mao and the Chinese Revolution, which is going to make them a communist state. They're going to be supported in that by the USSR, but maybe not to the full extent of some other countries that are going to go through revolutions during the time period. As you think about this, I just want you thinking critically about these legacies, interacting about them, and make sure you're building out some evidence to support the points you're making, whether it be for the book, whether it be from those research resources we have in the Blackboard shell. Some really good ones for this. You could find a lot of information, I think, in the National Security Archives that are on there, in the Avalon Project from Yale, maybe in the Cornell Making America Project. All these things might have some good information for you to take a look at. Then you do have your Unit 4 essay, where you're going to be taking a look at Southeast Asian transitions to independence. So again, here we're taking a look at some of these continuities and changes, and I think you can build upon your discussion board work, or you can build upon kind of how you're putting together your essay, if you do the discussion board first, whatever that may be. But have these things in mind as you go in and do your reading for the week. One of the things I would do if I were working on this essay is I would think about this question. I would kind of take out the different parts and almost create a blank outline before I start working on the reading for the week. So then as I ran into things like maybe the four major points I want to make in this essay to get to my 2 pages that I'm going to make a half page out of each, I would then kind of have them down. If you take a look at what you need to do in the Unit 4 essay, it's all right there. And you could identify 4 things you want to talk about, turn them in each into half a page. And as you're going through and doing your reading, then you find the evidence that you can slot into there. Maybe you go out and find some stuff from other sources. If we have questions about any of this stuff, make sure you're reaching out and communicating. I'm here to help you however I can. I do think we're off to a great start in the course as we approach the halfway point here. I appreciate the hard work you've put in so far, and I look forward to the great things you're going to do this week. Good luck.